Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Raising the Rogers Homestead. Today is processing day. I want to show you guys my setup. I also want to go ahead and show you the coop while I'm out here, what we run these chickens in, and then I want to show you my setup, and then we'll go from there. So anybody that's been doing pasture poultry for longer than a day has probably heard of Mr. Joel Salatin or the John Siskovich. So the Joel Salatin tractors are the short, 2 foot tall tractors. They're generally about 12 foot wide, 12 foot long. You can make them however big you want to. So I made 4 of them last year. This was the biggest one that I built. It was 8 foot wide and 12 foot long. And I ran a lot of chickens through that chicken tractor last year and the year before that. So I've decided real quick that I was not a fan of those tractors. I don't like that you can't get in them. I don't like that you can't see all the birds all the time. Whenever you're moving them, you're more apt to run over some. So basically I took the bottom frame of that, which is the bottom half of this, and then I put cattle panels over the top of it. I built me a door, made it just like a regular chicken coop. I didn't like not being able to get in there. I feel like you can keep a better eye on the birds in a tractor like this. I like the John Siskovich style tractors over the Joel Salatin style tractors. But anyway, that's a little bit about the coop itself. I have 4 feeding stations in it. I hang up their feed. It's a 12-hour on, 12-hour off. Now, these guys haven't eaten in 24 hours, and that's the way you want to process them. You want to make sure that they don't eat anything for at least 24 hours. I do have the Bell water system in there, the automatic water. I got a 5-gallon bucket that's on the back of the tractor. It's gravity fed down to it, and I keep an automatic water on it, and so they never run out of water. All right, I'm gonna get up here, show you guys my setup, and we're gonna get started. Real quick rundown of the setup. Guys, it doesn't take much to be able to do this, so I'm gonna show you all the setup just real quick here. So first and foremost, you got your killing station. It's just a killing cone, and that's it. You got a little plastic wrapped around here so they don't get blood all over the post. Next, scalding pot, 145 to 150 degrees. Takes about a minute or so, and whenever those tail feathers come out real easy, then you're ready to go. Plucker, probably the best thing that you can have when doing this. It makes it so much faster. We used to pluck by hand before we started getting into a whole lot of chickens. The plucker is a must-have. And then last but not least, it's just a table is all it is. It's not anything fancy. And then you just need some sharp knives. That's pretty much it. I've got a couple coolers sitting over here. They're full of ice and they are ready for chickens. So once we go through each step of everything, then they will go into the cooler where they will stay for 24 hours, so until tomorrow morning, and then we will cut up, bag, or whatever we plan on doing with them. I'll show a little bit of each station, actually processing the chickens. I'll show a little bit of that and be as tasteful as possible, but at the end of the day, it is processing chickens. You are killing chickens, so viewer discretion advised on the next couple parts of the video. All right, the way that we like to do it is we will put the chicken into the cone and we'll leave it in there for roughly 2 or 3 minutes or so. And that puts it in what we call a twilight state, where it's almost asleep, but obviously not completely asleep. And then what I like to do is pull the head down through the cone, and then if you'll find the jawbone, it'll be right up underneath the wattles, and slit on both sides as fast as possible. And that makes for a super clean, quick kill. So after the chicken has been dispatched, we put it in what we call the scalder. So the way that we do our scalding, we just have a big stainless steel pot on a propane burner. We keep it between 145 and 155 degrees. We will dip the chicken in there. It'll be in there roughly 30 to 45 seconds or so until the wing feathers come out really easily, and then we will move on to the next portion of it. So the way that I do this, I usually dip it in and I'll give it kind of like a swirl back and forth motion, and then I'll check the wing feathers and then they'll go into the plucker. All right, wing feathers are coming out good, so let's move on to the plucker. All right, guys, I just pulled it out of the scalder, so now we're gonna go into the plucker with a little bit of water. So this is the last portion of processing chickens. Now, we're gonna be as tasteful as possible. If this is something that you don't wanna see, I suggest you go back and watch one of our other videos. But this is gonna be I guess the nasty part of it. So the hard part is at the beginning, the killing portion of it, the dispatching portion of it, and this is kind of the gross part of it. So I want to show kind of how I do it. Not saying that it's right or wrong. I'm just saying this is the way that we do it. So the first thing I do is, so your crawl is on this side. So what I do is I just make a small incision here. And what you want to do is you want to separate the crawl and the esophagus from everything. That way that whenever you go to pull the guts out, everything comes out all nice and clean and you don't have to worry about anything. So here's your crawl here, here's your esophagus, here's your crawl. So you can go in here and you can pull it all out at the same time. So we're just gonna go ahead and cut that, and then your crawl is nice and loose, and you just separate that from the breast. So there's the esophagus and the crawl, and it'll all come out with the guts all at the same time. All right, so the next thing I'll do is I'll cut the feet off. There's a joint right here where it kind of bends. You want to hit that joint right there and they'll come right off. All right, and then the next thing I do, so the vent is right here. You want to go right here. So there's the bottom of the breastbone right here. There's this open space right here. You want to pinch that and open it up a little bit. All right, after you get the vent cut, then what you want to do is you want to come up on this side, up underneath the breast, inside the rib cage, kind of do a sweeping motion, and then in between these two fingers, you want to grab all your entrails and then pull them out the bottom. And that'll pull the crawl, the esophagus, everything will come out all in one piece. All right, once you get the entrails out, you'll have a little bit hanging over the back. I always cut out the vent completely. I'll go right here at the end, and I'll cut in this way on both sides, and then that will take the vent, the entrails, everything out all in one piece. And then after you get that done, you've got a super clean chicken, and it's ready to go into the freezer. All right, guys, so we processed roughly 40 chickens today. I was gonna give you a quick shot. So basically these guys will go on ice. They'll be in there for roughly 24 hours or so. And then tomorrow we're actually doing a part 2 to show what we do as far as cutting them up and vacuum sealing them and things like that, so that we can prepare them for the freezer. So be sure to check that video out. It'll be coming out probably the next day after this one's posted. So this is the chicken in the cooler now. So like I said, 24 hours on ice. Number one, it makes them a little bit more tender. Number two, it makes it super easy to cut up because they're a little bit more stiff instead of kind of loose and slimy. We appreciate you guys stopping by today. This is part 1 of a 2-part video that we will film tomorrow, showing the packaging of what we did today. But like always, like our video, subscribe to our channel. We're still trying to grow this channel, but we appreciate you guys stopping by. Thanks.